Millions of variables representing millions of places in time.
Hello, welcome back to another episode. On Quantum Leap Season 1 Episode 2, multiple purposes are at work, and the writers do an admirable job of strumming the narrative tune so that they blend effectively. Ben's transformation into his childhood hero, David Tamara, not only helps him remember who he is but also shows Addison that he is honest and has a strong sense of right and wrong. Meanwhile, Jen's reminder that Ben was the team's peacemaker pushes everyone to a compromise where they can use transparency to help bring him back. It all boils down to trust. Both the Atlantis Shuttle project in 1998 and the Quantum Leap project in 2022 go backwards when a key member is taken away. Jim Reynolds' injury puts Samantha Stratton in charge of the Atlantis, a job she has trained for her whole life but has always done under Jim's watch. Despite Ben's support, David's lack of experience causes Everett to question her orders, and when Reynolds regains consciousness, he undermines her authority as well. Ben's skills as a peacemaker come into play here, and he gets Reynolds to believe in his training and the relationship he has with Stratton by reminding him of the advice Stratton gave him earlier about Reynolds. Stratton's certainty about what she will do shows how much she believes in herself and how much she has learned from Reynolds. Confronting the Master is no easy task for the Grasshopper, but Stratton makes it clear that bringing Reynolds home safely is far more important to her than bowing to the chain of command. As Ben points out, she is willing to jeopardize the career she has worked so hard to build. Remember that even though Sally Ride became the first woman NASA astronaut to go to space in 1983, Stratton in 1989 would have been part of the space program's tiny percentage of women at the time. For those who are interested in space, this Atlantis mission is fictional but plausible. The first ISS module was actually launched into orbit later that year by a Russian Proton rocket. 1989 was historically a busy year for Atlantis, but not with the construction of the ISS.
I'm in a space shuttle.
Surprisingly, the Atlantis space shuttle did rendezvous with Mir several times during the 1990s. Atlantis did not conduct a resupply mission to the ISS until 2000. So, while Quantum Leap space adventures aren't as historically accurate as For All Mankind, I'll give them credit for at least tying their plot to the realm of possibility. And how thrilling was Ben's freefall to Mir. Even though we know logically that the main character will not fly off into infinite space in the second episode of the series, there is a brief moment of panic as he bounces across the surface of the space station. Back in 2022, the hunt for Janis Kalavici has a few moments where suspension of disbelief is required. While having a burner flip phone is in keeping with a paranoid but brilliant astrophysicist conspiracy theorist, I'm not sure what safeguards she'd put in place to protect her server room. How do you demolish a server room built beneath a house? And how much does astrophysics pay for her to be able to abandon a house like that? She's unlikely to return now that Magic and Jen have their sights set on that house. Janis had also broken into Addison's trashed apartment, probably to get the encryption key on the thumb drive, which neither Magic nor Jen knew about at the time. So she is aware that Addison and the team have the encryption key. Does she still need her server room to access the research she and Ben were working on? A revelation that Ben came to her for assistance is an intriguing twist on what we already know about Ben. Nobody believes he's up to anything nefarious, but his message to Addison in Quantum Leap Season 1 Episode 1 hints at shenanigans. In addition, his conversation with Addison reveals that he has a bit of a deadline for his return. Whitings can, of course, be rescheduled. Ben's gradual recollection could be interpreted as a twisted second courtship. While Addison gives Ben information about his leapies, she is conflicted about giving him his own backstory. Ben, ironically, learns about everyone and everything around him whenever and wherever he jumps, but he can't figure out his own past. Of course, now that we know he leaped with a goal in mind, we might be able to spot a pattern in his leaps. The first leap transported him to the Hope Diamond in the Live Aid concert. This one transformed him into a childhood hero. As previously hinted, we can expect to see him next in the life of a boxer. Any scientist will tell you that this sample size is absurd. We'll just have to keep an eye out. With the network banking on nostalgia to drive viewership, it's not surprising that they'd approach the original series actors to reprise their roles. With Scott Bakula on record as not returning and Dean Stockwell sadly passing away in real life, fans have expressed concerns about a lack of continuity between the series. Of course, Addison showing Ben Dr. Sam Beckett's image as part of the exposition in the premiere and Janis being Al's daughter are strong references to the first series. But how fantastic is it that Susan Dial reprised her role as Beth Kalovich? She only appeared in 2 episodes of the original series, but one of them was the finale, so that's continuity with a capital C. Remember, you can watch Quantum Leap online. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.